Hello, this is cybersecurity expert Reginald Andre, and today is Tuesday, December the 6th, 2022, and we have been giving you so much information about what's happening with Rackspace. So if you're listening to this, most likely you are affected, and our job right now, or my job right now, is to really just give you some information as far as what's going on, what it means, and what you should be doing for your business going forward. So just to recap, last Thursday, Rackspace, which is a real big company, they provide hosting email services for emails, for Teams, for your contacts, everything related to your emails. They got hacked. And just imagine your emails have not worked for about 5 days now. Just imagine how your business would be for your operations and for your customers. So this is exactly what it is, this pain right now that clients are from Rackspace are receiving right now. So Rackspace on their website just announced, they said, after becoming aware of these suspicious activities on 12/2, we immediately isolated the environment. And they are saying that they now have found that the reason this is all happening is because there's ransomware. We have since determined that this was a result of a ransomware incident. So we've talked about ransomware a lot on our channel. This is essentially what it means is when Rackspace looked at their servers, instead of being able to operate freely and be able to operate the computer freely, things were stuck, things were blocked, and they could not operate their servers, hence your mail not working and why we're in this situation now. So my thoughts on this is that the attackers, the hacker, have already contacted Rackspace, and Rackspace is now probably in negotiations to pay, because what happens is the hacker is now saying, if you want us to unlock your systems, we want you to pay X dollars. And for a company like Rackspace, easily over $1 million in Bitcoin that the hacker is going to want to have them pay. So this is now where Rackspace is now looking at their backups to see if their backups are affected, and they're going to try to see if, okay, can we just go back to maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, so that we don't have to pay this money. Now, of course, you may be saying, well, come on, $1 million. I mean, pay the money. We need our emails back. Our business is not operational. Well, the truth is, even if they were to pay this ransomware, it doesn't really guarantee that their information is still there. A lot of times with these ransomwares, what will happen is that the criminals, because they are criminals, will provide these keys to unlock the system, but then it takes so long for it to happen, or sometimes it just doesn't work. And even when you unlock your systems, you just don't know how secure these systems are. You don't know if they've left little cookie crumbles in there, so to speak, and that they're going to try again. So I'm sure right now what Rackspace is doing is they're trying to go to their backups. They're trying to see and have cybersecurity firms investigate and forensic investigate to see how long was the attackers in the system. And on average, it's about 180 days that they stay in these systems. And the reason they do that is because they want it where they're going to have to go really, really far back to get this backup. So imagine now they having to go tell you, the customer, look, we have your emails, but we don't have the last 3 months, because that's how far back of a backup, because that's how long our systems have been encrypted. So there's, I don't want to speculate, because, it can go a lot of ways, but I'm sure this is what's happening now, if in the situation room of their boardroom, and to say, are we going to pay the ransom? Can we just get the backups? And they're just doing a pros and cons on this. So you as a business owner, if you're listening to this, this is why it's so important that you have a backup of your emails with a third-party company. Even if you're listening to this and you have Microsoft or you have Google, it is so important that you still back up your data, because even on Microsoft's fine print and Google's fine print, they say they are not responsible and they do not back up your systems. Yes, they sync your data across servers. So if one location goes down, the emails still work, but it's by definition not a backup. It's just more syncing. And there are services out there that will back up your email, and it's really, really inexpensive. It's maybe $1 or $2 per box per month. So you're probably already paying $6 a mailbox per month. Add another dollar, and it backs up this data for a year, or you can do unlimited, and it's really, really inexpensive. So what this could mean for you is that if you weren't paying for a third-party backup service, there's a high chance that if the Rackspace is not able to get this data back, that you're only going to have emails going forward from when you started migrating to Office 365 or something else. So this is a big concern. So if you don't have the archive emails, I would just highly recommend going forward that you start to back up your emails. And again, there's third-party services that do that. You can contact us. We can give you a couple of names, or we can help you set those up. If you haven't already, if you're now here on day 5, and you're saying my emails are still down, what should I do? Give us a call. Our chat link is below. We'll help. Even if it's just advice. We've had a lot of calls with people all over the U.S., and we're just answering questions because, frankly, the IT person that you may have or company that you may have, and especially if they were a reseller of Rackspace and that was their choice to use, they're probably overwhelmed right now. So thankfully, we actually only had one customer, and we've been trying to get them to move out of Rackspace. But we're pretty open as far as availability. We can get you guys back up within 3 hours to at least be getting new emails. And then now we just have to wait for what Rackspace does as it relates to getting back the old emails. So if you're not sure how to do that, let us know. There are also ways where you can forward your email. So if you have a personal email address, you can now forward your business email to your personal email. So at least you can start getting emails. And of course, contact your customers via phone and via social media, via LinkedIn, just to let them know that you guys are experiencing email issues and you're not ignoring them. So that's also very important. So that's kind of all I have to say. It's just really, really unfortunate about this ransomware situation. I see someone here in the chat. They're saying, how long do you think this is going to go for? Thank you, Barry. Barry, honestly, I don't know. The process that they have to do now is that, again, they have to negotiate with the hackers. They have to check their backups. And something like this, obviously the pressures on Rackspace. They're a public company. There's actually rules on the books right now, U.S. laws that says that you cannot negotiate with countries that are terrorists. So if this ransomware group is in countries like Russia or Iran, there could be consequences to them. So the board is having to look at all of this, and their legal department is having to look at all of this and say, if we were to pay this ransom, and it turns out that this money that we're paying, this $1 or $2 million that we're paying, is now going to be funding the Russian government. Now you're going to later have a conversation with the Treasury Department. And of course, there's going to be lawsuits because there's things where you can have double extortion, because it's very possible that the ransomware group also has the data. And now they can now go after you, the customer, and say, we know we have this data. And because Rackspace didn't pay us, we are now coming after you, and we're going to leak all of your emails if you don't pay us. So there's so many different ways we can skin this, and it's just unfortunate. So if you haven't already moved, because just going back to how long is this going to take, I don't know how long it's going to take, but for something this big and this drastic, I'm going to at least say weeks, that by the time you possibly get your data back. So the best thing to do, and Rackspace is even saying it themselves, move to Microsoft, move to 365. You can also do Google if you want to, but don't wait for Rackspace to turn back on their servers, because they're going through they're dealing more with the ransomware attack, which is even bigger than you not being able to access your emails. And that could take a few weeks. And obviously you don't want your business to be down for a few weeks. Did they say how much? Thank you, The Glitch. You're saying, did they say how much the ransom amount was? No, they don't. They don't disclose that. And thank you for participating. If you guys have any questions, put it in the chat. Even afterwards, I'll be reviewing this. So did they say how much? No, they don't. Usually they keep that very close to their chest, and they're doing the negotiation. There's right now breach coaches and legal that Rackspace has hired, and obviously the cyber insurance carriers are involved. So this is a whole process. This is a whole playbook. And right now they're just going to be tight-lipped and just doing it through the back channels, Telegram, and whatever channels that they're doing and communicating with the hackers. So Vernon Reed, thank you so much for the support. You say, what can I do as a business as this seems to be happening more and more? Really, the thing that you should be doing is having a cybersecurity plan to say, if my emails were down, what would I do? Now, Rackspace has been around since 1999. This is the first time this has happened, but you have to have a plan where to say that if my emails stop working, what do I do? Do I have a mailer that I send out? Do I have a hard copy of all my clients that we communicate via email to let them know that the emails are down? Do you maybe have a backup email? Do you have a forwarding service that says that if the emails go down, it goes to another mailbox? So there's a lot of things, which is why you should be doing these type of tabletop exercises. Your IT company and cybersecurity company should be doing tabletop exercises and listing all of these doomsday scenarios, because I mean, we're talking at least 50,000 people, 50,000 businesses across the US right now that are being affected by this. This is probably going to be the biggest ransomware attack of 2022. So yeah, just have these type of things. And if your IT company and cybersecurity company is not talking to you about this, then that's a problem. And reach out to us. We'll be glad to help or find someone that will talk to you about that. All right, so I don't see any other comments. As soon as we get any more updates, we'll just continue to give you guys information. So if you enjoyed this, please don't forget to like and subscribe and share this with your company as well. If you have HR or CEOs and you're watching this, please share it to them. Let them watch this and say, hey, boss, do we have a backup system in place that if Microsoft or Google went down, and yes, it's possible, do we have a system in place? And if they just look at you and like, no idea what you're talking about, give us a call. Link is below to schedule an appointment with me. 15 minutes, we'll have a virtual coffee. Thank you so much. Reginald Andre, cybersecurity expert here in Miami, Florida.